Hi, Scott. Again, we're coming in our first Q&A of 2019. Let's start off with the usual disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen. Trade Ideas is not a registered investment advisor. All of the information that you see from our platform, all the data that comes through it, and anything you hear from us is to be construed just for informational and educational purposes only. We are not a registered investment advisor or a broker-dealer. Okay, with that said, let me just start by saying again, welcome everyone. 2019 has begun, and I want to first start off by saying thank you to everybody here. Many of you have been participating with us for a long, long time, and we couldn't do this without you. So the first thing that I really want to say is thank you. It's gratitude. That's what we're about. If you guys did not support us, we would have had to, probably try to get some venture capital, and those people just eat you alive. So luckily, we never had to do that, and we owe that to you for believing in us, and we're grateful for it. And we will continue to say that. But I want to start the Q&A by simply saying that we are all about gratitude. It was an incredible year for us. 2018 was by far the best year for Trade Ideas as a business. Aside from just all the technology that we put out and all the things that you guys saw, and since this is our first Q&A, I just want to kind of give you guys that overview, is that it was not for naught, hopefully not for you, and it was certainly amazing for us. We increased our revenues by over 50%, got a lot more clients, and it's really just the beginning, and you will see how and why as I move across the presentation. I don't think we're going to be too long today because it's our first one, and I'm not going to overwhelm anyone. I'm going to answer a lot of questions, of course, as well. But let's just start. So the big things for you guys to remember is that 2017 and 18 were kind of transition years for Trade Ideas as we went from a pure analytics data feed kind of idea generation business to much more of a trading conduit where we connected you to brokerage plus our brokerage interface, and through interactive brokerage allow people to trade our signals, and that's going to get more and more automated throughout this year, and that's really what I'm going to start talking about. At the end of the year, or at least in the last 6 months of 2018, we talked about how Brokerage Plus is about to be released. This is still on schedule for the end of January, so we have very little time left before the release, and not that many opportunities for you guys to be able to buy it at the $1,100 rate if you have not purchased it. And if you have, if you're already the premium subscriber who was with us long ago, then this goes without saying, you already have all the access. You have everything you need, and you're just now seeing that we are continuing and continuing to develop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize this because, again, the presentation is kind of short. It's the same slides that I did last year. And the reason is because the important thing I want you to see is what's happening here. Okay, so the more important things is this. And we've said this many, many times. Unfortunately for the investing public, everything that we have all learned from when we were in college about finance to what we learned from our quote-unquote financial advisors is not true. So what's not true about it is that, well, you can make money in the stock market. You can vastly outperform the indexes, and I mean vastly. But in order to do that, you simply have to make your own decisions. If you are following someone else, another advisor or what have you, it's just not going to happen, because the best you can do following someone else is average. You really need to remember this. This is very important, because this is kind of the crux of everything that we've been saying. And just like the Bible says, there's nothing new under the sun. Brad and I and the other partners of Trade Ideas, we discussed how, although technologically speaking, we are so far along and more advanced than we've ever been, not ironically, the thematics of what we do is not that different to when I started trading back in, the mid-90s. In that when you trade, and you trade for yourself with your own money, you realize very quickly that that is kind of like opening your door to what's affectionately known as the red pill. And all I mean by that is that you realize that, well, it's not all as we thought, the real world. And by that, what I mean is that look at the percentages, okay? I mean, so right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking at a page called Omni AI, which is a layout that shows you all of these three trade ideas layouts together, okay? And I'm gonna kind of go over these percentages here and risk on and just show you. I mean, here you have a 4% winner, a 1% winner. Now just scroll, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1. Now, in terms of percentages, notice what they have taught you, what they have taught people to believe is, man, if you make 5% in a year, that's pretty good. Or, okay, 10% in a year is amazing. But guys, that's a lie. It's a lie because we're just trying to show you that the fluidity and availability percentage points is just nothing like you've been taught. Our whole notion from the beginning of trade ideas has been to completely change the game, and we believe we're succeeding at a pretty accelerated rate. How? Well, we designed a software product that watches every single piece of information and gives you these ideas throughout the day. There's a timestamp, and there's entry, there's exits, there's everything that you need to kind of have not only an education of how to do it, but an idea of what it is that you should be doing, okay? Now, the best part, too, is that unlike a one-trick pony, the software has no emotional component as it relates to which way to go. Every trade, although there were many that were picked today, every single trade is viewed by the AI individually. So while you get the speed of interesting ideas, our AI, and this is the advantage of computers over people, looks at every single trade like it's trading one at a time. That is the difference between what humans can do and what software can do to help us be better at it. And that's really what we're trying to do here. We're not trying to replace ourselves. We're not trying to have the software trade while we're playing golf. I mean, guys, that's kind of a little silly because volatility and things like that, you still want to be at the wheel. And I'll just say simply that if you look at how electric car companies like Tesla, what they do with their driving assist, it's not that you get in the car, put in where you want to go, pop into the passenger seat, and take a nap while it drives you there. You're still behind the wheel, and it's very much the same way here. And the best part of this is that's the best way to learn too, okay? It is like what we just said, it's the combination of man and machine. One of the most beautiful ways that is visible today, okay, is the simple fact that the best trade was actually a short sell in terms of pure dollar, not the best percentages, but just pure dollar amounts, okay? It was the short sale on ABBV, which I was in also, and never looked back. So beautiful. It hit the profit target and continued lower throughout the day. So this is what you get. And most people, when they see this, they kind of get maybe a little glassy-eyed, a little, maybe so much information. But remember, you're seeing the summary at the end of the day. There's a timestamp to everything. So I'm going to go and kind of show you what it looked like as it was coming in. So here you can see the first trade was fossil, then IQ, then here. Okay. Then right here you had ICHR, cars. And notice here, by the way, that in this, so you had a couple of trades at the open here, right, 20 minutes after. But on this strategy, on Holly Neo, you didn't have any trades till, several hours after the market. Here, half hour and 12 minutes, and right after that, boom, Yeah, that beautiful pop. The key to success, and this is not easy, if it was, then obviously everybody would be doing it, is to unshackle your ability to do what the computer is doing by removing all the preconceived notions. You have to unattach yourself from the emotions of the trade, which isn't easy to do, but since we are doing all of the grinding and all of the calculating work for you, it's much easier with us. In fact, we are the easiest path to this. There is no company in the world that gives people more opportunities to look at and better opportunities to take advantage of. Zero, not one. No Bloombergs, no Reuters, no Goldmans. All of these people, no E-Trades, Ameritrades, and others, all they do is serve a purpose to facilitate money on either interest or transactions for you to give to them, okay? We're a subscription-based service, as I'm sure you guys all know. And if you don't like us, you can just cancel. That's it. It's very simple. There's no contracts, no nothing. It's easy. If you like it, you use it. If you don't have to. And we would never want you to use it if you didn't want to use it, okay? So in terms of what you're seeing here, this is a layout, and I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to show you that you can do lots of cool stuff with trade ideas, just an overview, because many people here might have never even seen some of this before. On the left side, you have our trade ideas channel bar, which, by the way, you can configure and set up. And come on, sorry, guys. I like that little fun. You can create your own buttons, bring in pictures, and put in your own cloud wings and customize this almost any way you like. Okay. You can then go and channel surf throughout the day once you realize how some of this stuff works. Now I'm going to click right here and notice instantly the software has changed. Okay, I'm now on the after hours channel. Okay, and you can see that we have some data points that you're just not going to find very many other places. Like here we have post-market move of 22%. Bed Bath & Beyond, post-market move of 15%. Beavis, 14%. Okay? All of these things, they're designed so that you don't have to spend so much time tinkering and configuring and more just surfing and moving along. So this is our post-market channel, and the idea is that you can review everything, and then I'm going to show you again just paths to success. So here you have any stock, pretty much Vivas, and it's kind of going up, but you're not in it. But what you can do is you can quickly, once you see it, set a target or a price and say, okay, I like this. Save. Now you got a little pin right here, and if Vivas crosses this price level, and you can, by the way, grab it and adjust it so it's really above that wick, so now there's really no resistance, the software will alert you when this happens. By the way, you guys, Jim was saying he doesn't see any image changing. Are you guys seeing the software update, or is it kind of slow? Scott, do you see it changing if you're watching? Just want to make sure that...
Move something around now that I'm looking at it. Yeah.
Okay. My mouse. We're on VVUS, right?
No, it's kind of frozen on my screen. No. But try, like, move a window or something.
I just changed the whole layout.
No, then we're frozen, yeah. Maybe the internet will...
Okay, let's stop sharing the screen. Okay, guys, hold on 1 second. This is not our tech. It's a GoToMeeting. Bear with us for a second. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. And then I'm going to share the screen. How about now? Scott, anything?
Well, the stop sharing screen just happened, but it has not reshared yet for me. So I'm looking at the placeholder waiting.
So I think it should be getting there.
Yeah, the internet's it just shared again.
Yeah, what do you guys see? Tell me so I make sure. Is it STZ?
AGTC is the chart.
It looks like GoToMeeting is really super slow.
Now it's CEI.
So okay, so I can talk, but you're on the pre-market channel, right? What channel do you see?
You're on pre-market.
Okay, good. So at the very least, what I'm showing you is our software, again, please forgive the slowness of GoToMeeting. But our software is built in with a lot of automation for you to help you do things that are otherwise tedious and monotonous. Right now, what it's doing is something called idea surfing. Okay, and at the very top of my channel bar right here, you can see, hopefully, if you can see my mouse, it says currently idea surfing. And what that means is we've often thought to ourselves that one of the biggest challenges that people face, of course, is even the first click. What do I even type? What symbol? How do I know where to go? So what we've done is we have our software automatically scroll through all the windows and show you what's happening, so that then if you like something, you can go to it and make some kind of notation. Are you guys able to see, again, right now, RHE, hopefully? And I'm setting a price alert. And I'm saying looks good. Once again, the idea is to make it simple. We haven't found a big advantage in giving people more and more indicators and more quote unquote tools. There's no shortage of tools out there in the world. What there's a shortage of is tools that work. And we think that's where the big problem is. Yeah, so guys, you're seeing my screen, but it'll update. The idea is that the software is automatically channel surfing and giving you information depending on which channel you're looking at. Here it's the pre-market, and again, I can switch channels by going down to the channel bar and just adjusting, and now I'm on what's called the active trading channel, and hopefully that'll update in a minute or sooner. And what I'm going to show you is here, you have this thing called, rapid response notation, okay? And what I mean by that is I try not to think too much about what it is I'm seeing, but letting my eyes guide me. So here I see a stock, I make a notation like, okay, I like this price level, and I simply say exactly what I said to you. I like this price level, okay? Now, as soon as I do that, the notation will appear. Let me put that back up. I think I put the price at a different level. So here I'm going to put it, there it is. Okay. So the idea is that we want you to be able to quickly go through lots of information, but without getting stuck or without being afraid that you're going to miss anything. So we've been doing this for a very long time, and we've itemized and researched what it is that you guys need to see to make yourselves better and better and better, okay? So what I want to do is I want to stop real quick, and again, hopefully it'll catch up, and you guys can take a look at AWX, Avalon Holdings. And this is one of the kind of the perils and at the same time opportunities of the stock market. If you look at this AWX, Avalon Holding Corporation, it's a relatively small stock, but you can see that it has gone from under $3 to, in several days, $20, and then back to $3. That is an incredible move, and if you understand how the market works, which is it goes to the path of least resistance, not what you think, not what they think, not about earnings, not about anything else, but rather just simply the path of least resistance, whichever that may be. You can then take advantage of both directions, the long and the short direction. That's what we are here to help you do. One of the things that I really want to encourage you to do is investigate trade ideas competitors. You really ought to just research and say to yourself, well, you know, who else is doing this kind of stuff? Where else can I get this kind of information? And I think you yourselves will find that the answer is not very many places, okay? Not very many at all. And here I'm stopping on SAEX. This is a very popular trading stock today. And I just want to show you something. Let me know when you guys, are you guys seeing that? Scott, is it on SAEX right now?
Yeah, it's on AWX.
Okay, it'll come in. But that one's just below it. So we're on the right screen. So we're moving in the right direction. So SAEX, and you guys, if you have trade ideas, you can pull it up on your own. Okay, there we go. So SAEX had 12 million shares of volume today and traded a relative volume, meaning what is it versus what it normally trades of 81 times. If something's trading just 1.5, right, that means that it is 50% above normal. If something's trading 81.86 times, whoo, it's like 810 or 816.8 times normal, or even more. And look at the gains. Once again, my goal from the beginning is to tell you not to believe the people that tell you that you can't make money and that gains aren't possible. And it's not random either. Again, all of these things are just simple scare tactics that are used by the industry to keep them working your money at high rates and low returns. That's right, folks. High rates of fees and low returns for your performance. Whereas here in one day, people who were able to take advantage, and if you look at it, this wasn't a gap. In fact, it's like it waited for everybody to kind of get together, waited a half hour, and then at 7 o'clock, it started to run. You almost can't ask for anything better. Honestly, you can't. And here you have 69% in one day. Back when I was a younger man and in the mid-90s, and I started to investigate the opportunity to invest for myself and manage my own money, I quickly saw the exact same thing that I'm telling you guys now, which is everyone's been lying to me. Well, I'm like, what? How is that possible that in one day somebody trading this just made 69%, but I'm led to believe that, you know, if my account is up anything, 8, 9%, then that's awesome. No. We're in a big sea of change now as it comes to financial data and many things that we used to believe were true but are going to be finding out that are not. So our objective at Trade Ideas is really quite simple. We want to remove the barriers that are set there for you to see what's going on. We've done that by creating a channel bar, much like a Netflix or cable or, you know, or an Orthosaurus or any kind of reference point that you need to look at something, and we have a channel bar. Here, blockchains and cryptocurrencies, and again, you guys might be a little bit behind me, but you'll see when it updates. And the idea here is whether it's things that you might have not known about, like the low flow stocks, or the active stocks. It doesn't really matter. We have something for everyone. And the other thing is that it's not just on one channel. Often you will see that one stock will appear in one place and then you will find it appearing in another place. The other thing is we don't rest on our laurels. Our AI isn't perfect, but the idea is that we teach you that if you are not up, get out. That's the whole point. You try, if it doesn't work, out. You can always try again. That's it. Try, manage the risk, try again. It really does not need to be that much more complicated. Do you want to see things that are being discussed an unusual amount on social media? No problem. And by the way, Crocs I'm pretty sure was one that was on the AI yesterday, I thought, maybe. Or maybe it was today, I couldn't remember. But here you go, 4% in one day. Okay? And with this kind of technology, you're not going to miss it. It's that simple. The question now is, how do you take advantage? So that's where we're going to jump into the AI. And the thing that I want to say is that, remember everyone, we have a curriculum every week where, whether it's Jamie, Steve, Andy, or all the other professionals that work at Trade Ideas, Barry, who's holding court in our trading room every single day, with a meritocracy of traders who continue to help other people, you have the best opportunity to succeed. We are most likely today, from what I've seen, the fastest growing fintech company in the United States, certainly that has anything to do with trading stocks. I just don't see, again, other people competing with us in the same kind of technological fashion. Now, Graydon asked a question about data on retention rates. Number one, we would never disclose that because we're private, but the retention rates simply have to do with how much capital you have and your room for error. Those that have very little have a much harder time investing in the stock market than those that have more. It's a very, very simple formula. The stock market favors those who have. Let me give you an analogy. In NBA basketball, are there people that are below 6 feet tall that play in the NBA? Yes, there are. Are there many of them? No, there are not. The taller that you are, the better your chance of succeeding in the NBA. That's just kind of like a given because that's the nature of the game that you're playing. And it's very similar with the stock market. The more capital that you have to start, the more room for error that you have. Having room for error is critical because, as you know, let me bring something up here. This is the Standard & Poor's. I mean, you can see this dive down from 280 to 235 and then back up. This kind of volatility, it's some of the, the biggest wave riding that you've had in the last 10 years just occurred in December, and to be frank, it's still happening. And could once again, by the way, retest this bottom. There's no guarantee that it won't. So the idea here, and I'm hoping that, I asked the question, is that it has a lot to do with you. We have customers with us today who have been with us since 2003. We have customers who are still subscribers from the very first year that we went live. And again, it's because they know how to do it and they have adequate capital to sustain. A lot of this has to do with the kind of education that you have and the rules that you set up for yourself, the systems-based approach. So let's jump right into what the AI looks like. And I'm going to show it to you from a point of view of each individual channel. So someone had asked me, like, why is it or how is it that I know that in this particular case, there's a profit of $304.88 on this particular AI. And I can tell, guys, the data right now is so slow. It's almost like the internet in California is yucky. But the point is, I'll show you how this is done. If you can see it, and it's so slow that it's hard for me to even do it for you guys. Okay, so there's all of these options in your, I was waiting for it to catch up. Do you guys still, do you guys see the options window? Tell me when you do, and hopefully it'll catch up and it'll make a lot more sense. So in the options window, I'm on the AI trade size, and this is one of the coolest things that you can do. So we made this available just this year and fairly recently. So you can say to yourself, how would I have done, hypothetically speaking, okay, if I got into the AI and every AI signal I bought 50 shares. And I can say apply and hit save, and it'll tell you how I would have done it, okay? Risk on or risk off. What would you have done if you had traded either, again, one share or, see, I think I put in here. Options, 50, oh, I said $50, I'm sorry. I meant to say 50 shares, or I'll say 100 so that it's easy to see. So notice here in the shares column, every share's changed to 100 to reflect the amount of shares that you're going to risk. I'm going to do this again because it's very important. Under, whoops, tools and options, I can go into AI trade size and I can say 100 shares per trade. I can say dollar amount, like $500. And you can sort of start comparing that way, like what makes more sense. By the way, do you notice how it seems like putting the same amount of money into every trade is not the most profitable way to do it? I mean, we found that out ourselves after doing simple mathematical research on it. So that is why we created something so cool, by being able to say something that no one else does. So here I can say, get me into every trade, but only do it in the kind of size that if I'm stopped out, let's say I lose $50 per trade. And now you can see what happens. The software auto-adjusts all the size for you to make sure that as you trade this, and if you are stopped out, you are in the proper size to only lose $50 or $40 per trade. Waleed, I love that you asked that question. So there's absolutely nothing secret about 34, 30, 40, or 50, but I'm a fan of numbers. 17, from the point of view of numbers, has a lot of kind of number power, only if you study any of that kind of stuff. And some people just simply don't believe in it. But 17 is kind of a lucky number for me. So I do it twice, and that's how I get the number 34. It's simply that. I mean, there's not, you can put in any number you want, but 34 is nothing but 17 times 2. And I could have meant 17 times 3, and that's just a personal preference of mine. Anybody can put in any amount you want. So again, like if you say 50, you can see what happens. You can say 55. And that's the beauty of it, is the software gives you the flexibility to do something that's just otherwise hard to do. Yes, David, shares per trade will adjust according to risk loss. Correct. Automatically, the software figures out how many shares should it get you in, so should you lose from the point of entry, you will only lose the amount of money that you want. Now, understand, by the way, that it's very difficult to maintain that to the exact dollar because of spreads and volatility, but you're very close. You're like, if you're going to lose, quote unquote, $50 per trade, you'll probably not lose more than 60, roughly speaking. I mean, this is from my own experience. And, a lot of times it might depend on, if you get into a stock like Tesla, I mean, not that you would, but I'm saying if hypothetically speaking, the AI got you into something like that, well, it's so volatile that on an exit, things might be a little bit different. So let me show you again, because people are asking. Okay, tools, risk based on stop. By the way, notice how there's a thing here. Share size is a term based on the amount you're willing to lose should the stop get hit. This is the advantage of Trade Ideas technology, because we do stuff on the server. Guys, you can't do this on your software, and you would never want to or be able to figure it out if you were doing it manually. We're the only ones that do this because this is a server type of tech. All of our tech is server tech. Now, although you see it all on my desktop, the client is very thin, so it doesn't really take up too much, memory or anything like that. Okay? And the beauty of what we do here is it lets you experiment, so you can really figure out what's the right path. Is it the dollar amount? Is it the share amount? Or is it the risk based on stop loss? And if you really want the answer, it's this one. Since I've started, we've tested with dollars and shares per trade, and I have not used that in months. And I continue to only use risk based on stop loss. This is just something that's what feels the best to me as I trade. Okay, and again, I use 34 just for personal preference, and also when I'm testing the technology, I kind of want to be in a situation where people feel comfortable saying, I could probably be in that trade. So like this ABVV trade, risking $34, look at that thing. I mean, by the way, it doesn't always happen like that, that it's so perfect, but this one was just butter. So David, you don't have to do anything. When you set this is all done in preliminary settings. So there's nothing that you have to do. Nothing. Once all of the setup is done ahead of time in your settings and everything else, once you do it, the software is on autopilot. It's automatically figuring out every single one of these shares. You don't have to do anything. You just find out, like, oh, I'm in ABBV. Oh, I'm in WTW. So that's what happens. Okay, I'm going to catch up to the questions real quick. Okay, Mike, are you asking about the IPO? If you are, then I'll just quickly touch up on that. Trade Ideas is still planning, high level, an IPO 2020. Those that are our subscribers will get some allotment of shares. Those that are our affiliates will also get some allotment of shares. The longer you've been with us, the more you get. The better affiliate you are for us, the more you get. We have a great affiliate business, by the way, because since we're the coolest tech in fintech, people make money by helping other people find out about our technology. That's something that we've encouraged forever. And again, we don't push it to anybody. It's only if you want to, but if you do, it's available for you. So Nir, let me answer your question. So I have been myself testing automated Holly for now probably 4 weeks, okay? And I'm doing stuff that you would never do. Like, I get into stuff and I reverse stuff because I'm testing everything, and I'm still trying to also make money while I'm doing it. So it's like, we're the race car drivers, we're the designers, we're in a real race, we're trying to win a race, and sometimes we have to crash the car and drive in reverse. but that's what we have to do. And by the way, that's fun for us to do because, I don't know how people even are in the industry without testing their own tech the right way. But the bottom line is, I don't really see how anybody can approach the market without this kind of an approach, because you have to ask yourself, what would have made you short this? What would have made you, short something like this? You can't. The human approach to it. I always make. That's right, Waleed. I'm the unknown stuntman to make Eastwood look so fine. That's how old I am. I actually know that song from that show. The thing that okay, guys, remember Q&A webinar, and I'm giving you guys lots and lots and lots of information. Okay, Joe, I think you're overthinking it a little bit. Number one, in the Q&A session, you're not going to be able to get a feel for anything other than just high-level information, and we can drill down. Again, that's what I'm here for. And this is the first one where we're just kind of reintroducing everybody to it. The data and the charts that we have, everything is real time. There's nothing, and Trade Ideas subscription includes the fee for the market data. I mean, included inside, there's no additional fees. Everything that you see in terms of the AI is labeled very clearly on the chart, okay? This is the entry signal, so you can see it kind of went against you a little bit, and then went right. And this would have been the stop. This was Holly's stop price based on the mathematics ahead of time. So that's really, you know, everything's labeled. Here you can see previous AI calls. You know, this is when Holly thought, based on the market, that Weight Watchers was a good pickup. But again, the AI can be wrong. Remember, I mean, we've never said that it's perfect, but we bring in and add all the money management to it that will help you prevent such things from happening. Let me show you something real quick. This line right here, that's called the swing exit. Let me see if I can move this so you can see it a little bit better. That's another good point to kind of see if I can really expand a little more here. Okay, so every stock you see will have, if the AI has traded it, you'll see a blue line, that's the entry, the stop, and then we also have this dotted line which says, hey, if you're in it, okay, if you're in it for the long term, this is your swing exit. And the swing exit moves, okay, so let me show you. If you're looking at Facebook, for example, okay, this is the swing exit. It's at 123. So again, so if you're like buying it, let's say right here, 144, and your objective is to hold long term, you theoretically would not have to exit until it broke this level. Based on high level, you know, you're going to give yourself quite a bit of wiggle room here, obviously. But notice everything is labeled. You've got your swing exits and you've got your daily as well. Let me go and show you the other channel, Holly Neo. So there's 3 AIs. And the original AI was Holly Grail. Then we created 2 more as we kind of developed different technology. And they just look at the market a little bit differently. That's all. You don't need to overthink it too much. Just a little bit different. Once again, as soon as you see the trade, you will see the arrow in terms of the direction. That's the direction that the software is taking. And you'll see the red stop. That's your exact candle entry line. And this is your profit target. So this one, the ABBV, hit the profit target very quickly. Boom. Then bounced quite a bit and then kind of traded all the way around there. And then only later at the end of the day, went even further, went even lower. Okay? David, you get all Holly signals from the past, everything. And let me show you something else that you guys may not notice. On the left-hand side, you see this little heart. This is just like Facebook, Twitter, and everything else. Notice I have a whole channel called My Liked Symbols. So as I go throughout stuff, I can look at like what the AI has told me. I can look at, you know, things that I like. You know, you can type in anything you want, of course, like IBM. You know, here's IBM, and I can say, ooh, I'm going to keep an eye on this. So on every chart you have this, and the idea is that less and less ways to miss good information. Now notice the channel called My Liked Symbols. I click on it. So these are just all the things that I have been clicking on for various times. And when I do these presentations, you know, you can see I click on lots and lots of different things because our software brings them up. But you can see, once again, notice the percentages. This is the stuff that you're not going to hear about on Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, etc. You know, great opportunities are not really talked about because the people in charge don't want you to be aware of them. They want you to give money to their buddies. Okay? But you can see, and once again, GVR, new concept energy. Just conceptualize from $1 to $12 in 1, 2, 3 days. Okay, so it wasn't like, so again, you could have bought this at 3, theoretically speaking, and on the second day when it got annihilated, still been in the game for 100%. That's what is out there. That is what is available. It's just a question of not fearing it. Okay, and again, I highlight all sorts of different stocks on webinars that we do. But the idea here is no matter what it is, you can just simply, just like you do on social media, say you like it. Let's say you want to just focus on stocks that are moving up. Well, there's a channel for that. Okay. David, it's possible, again, that, see, I run a version of Trade Ideas that people don't see. I run a very, very development, dance, QAnon powered, TIQ development mode enabled. That basically means that this is like the general lead. The windows aren't working. I don't even have a chart and no hubcaps. So you guys on the released versions will get much more stable stuff than what I'm working with. And again, whatever weird stuff that you see on mine, that typically doesn't translate to what you guys see in public in the released versions, if that makes sense to everybody. Are the graphics caught up? Are you guys on the price movement up channel? Here, Waleed, I'm going to get right into that. Okay, well, I'm going to let it catch up real quick. I switched the channel to the price movement up. And now I'm going to talk about what everybody's been wanting. This is the thing that why we're most likely going to go public, if it works that way. Tim, there's so much training. And again, I'm glad you guys are asking a good question. So we have a full curriculum, full curriculum of education that's ongoing every single week. And it's level oriented. In other words, some people who are experts can get a class on how to do custom formulas, which you can do on Trade Ideas. I mean, the stuff that I'm showing you is still very high level, but you can really dive in. You can do so many things with Trade Ideas. And again, starting from Barry's Trading Room, where people in a meritocracy support you, to the classes, to the support forum, to Trade Ideas University. This is what we are the best at. There is nothing else on the market that is going to continuously help you with this technology. This is what sets us apart from everyone. We're not just here to bend. We're here to build. We're here to build a relationship with you. We're here for us to work together. And we also use our own technology. All of us interact with real markets and real money so that we give you a better product. And that's just the bottom line. Once you realize that you are free to make your own decisions, and once you stop worrying about the tax rates and all these silly things like, oh, well, this isn't long-term capital gains, what am I going to do? Listen, guys, you can forget all about that. Forget about long-term, short-term, partly because all that's going to be changing very soon anyways. But even then, this is regular income. Regular income tax rates. Forget that lure of easy money through long-term. Long-term is the biggest lie on the planet because they're like, look at Apple, man. Look at Microsoft. Yes, those two. But there are countless stocks that have been delisted, removed from the S&P, gone bankrupt. Anybody remember this thing called Enron? They were all about Enron when it was going up. All about it. Get in it. Never sell it. WorldCom was another one. You don't hear about those. You just hear about that Apple. Man, Apple. Well, all that stuff is kind of ending because more and more people are simply waking up to the fact that there's no better caretaker of your own money than yourself. Okay? And if you make mistakes with it, that's also on you, which is good because you should take responsibility. If you don't want to take responsibility for being able to handle the financial markets, you shouldn't be here in the first place. Let me give you the 2-cent simple example. Barry and I have just talked about this all the time. There are 4 outcomes in trading: big winners, big losers, small winners, small losers. If you can just get rid of one of them, the big losers, you have succeeded. It's that simple, guys. If you can just get rid of the big losers, you have succeeded. Well, our software already does that for you. Holly will help you do that. All the stop loss elements, you do not have to sit there worrying about pressing the trigger. The software will help manage your risk. Okay, so that goes back now to what Waleed was saying, which is, when is the Holly automated trading going to happen? Most likely at the end of January. There are only going to be 1,000 instances of Holly automation that we are selling for $1,100. The information to do that is going to be on the website. I'm actually, since we're almost down to the end of the presentation, what I'm going to talk about real quick is, you know, my gosh, even the software. Come on, software. Okay. This is the $1,100 version. Only 1K of them are going to be sold, because again, we're trying to make sure we don't overwhelm not only the market but ourselves or the system. We want to give advantages to everybody that is first advantage. You have tons of people already who have full access to this without having to ever pay any additional stuff because they were in early. And if you are thinking about doing it, I recommend that you do it before the price goes up after the first 1,000 are sold. This is where Trade Ideas is. We're a subscription service. If you want to look at what the price is, it's trade-ideas.com/price. But here's how much it costs on a daily basis. Obviously, you pay monthly. But this is what the software costs per day, so that you can kind of understand what is it that you're paying for, even on a premium service. I mean, can you spend $7.50, you know, on a Subway sandwich and a Coke? You know, you have to ask yourself, you know, and for that Subway sandwich and a Coke, you get artificial intelligence that told you when to do the stuff that you need to do and how to better manage it. There's nothing on the market that's like this, and if there was, we'd say it, because there'd be room enough for 2, but there is 0. Now, this is no VectorVest, no Online Trading Academy, no Cyber Trader. This is it. We're alone. Okay. Don, if you have premium, you already have access to Holly. If you've been with us beforehand, it's, again, unless you signed up. I think if you already have premium now, you should have full access. This is just for the people who, you know, for whatever reason, have just now heard about it. And by the way, since you are here, whoever, you know, the new arrivals are, we have a promo code, Holly, all caps plus, that will give you 15% off the first month or of the full year of Trade Ideas. And by the way, there's nothing in terms of saving money. Obviously, the yearly is the best deal. Okay. Barry's Trading Room, one of the best places where everybody can get a good feel of not only just how people interact with AI, but trade discretionarily using our tech. Barry does both. He uses the AI, trades his own trades, and so do over 500 other people who are always there, and this is free. And if you really want to window shop, there's no better place, because it's at your time, at your pace, and you get all the access that you need to do without really having to worry about, you know, any kind of subscription or anything like that. My good friend Jamie Hodge and I, who's been in it for as long as I've been in it, we do a podcast, and we're starting it again this Friday. And we would love for you guys to tune in. We've been calling a lot of the moves. We've called the big sell-off very, very early, because again, we feel like we have good information, and everyone who's here who's been with us for a long time, you guys know it. I mean, we don't bullshit. That's really the bottom line, because there's no time for it. It's a waste of my time, your time, everyone's time. We want to tell it to you like it is, and if you don't think we're right for you, we don't need to convince you to be with us. There's plenty of other vendors out there, and you have to find something that works for you. We also want to make sure you understand that if you're only buying, you're only doing half of what you need to do. Okay? It's only like sleeping half the week. That's not going to work. I mean, you might be able to be okay, but at some point you're going to get so tired you're not going to make it. There's so much money on the downside, and by the way, the downside, that happens quick. Okay, whereas the upside, I mean, it also, I mean, if you saw the way the market turned around off the lows, the upside can scream as well. But goodness gracious, the downside, it's quick and fierce. And there's so much money at it. I mean, imagine being able to sell Google above 1,000 and buying it back at 500. You might be able to get that opportunity very soon. I mean, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but it could. Or Amazon. I mean, these are the things that can happen. You just have to be open to it, and we give you the information on how to do it, and one of the ways is through this ebook, 5 Ways to Win in a Post-BTFD Market. And you know what BTFD is, buy the effing dip, which is what everyone's been taught to do, but soon, that's not going to happen, okay? So, with that said, this is, again, it's free. We want to provide you with the information that you need to succeed. All of this is free. One of the other ways that we make it easy for you is that no matter where we are, no matter where you are, we're pretty easy to get a hold of. At Trade Ideas, at QuantBot, and at Today Traders are great follows on Twitter, on social media. I've been banned from all social media, so I'm not allowed to be there anymore. But our other people are there. Social media is afraid of me. It's okay. It should be. Please like us on Facebook. If you have any kind of questions, you can always shoot an email to info@trade-ideas.com. Are there any other questions that I can answer for you before we sign off? Remember, end of January most likely is where the AI is going to be automated, so you will be able to just plug it in and let it do its thing. Let me see. Anything else? Are we all caught up? It looks like that we are. All right, Scott, I think we're good. I want to thank everybody, guys. We could not do this without you. Please come to the trading room, check everything out. And if you haven't gotten a hold of Trade Ideas yet and you're thinking about it, there's no better time like the present. Once again, thank you. We are grateful for the time that you give us. We know that your time is important and you have lots of people that are vying for your attention. So we are very grateful for all the time that you give to us. Thank you very much. Scott, thank you for helping out. Barry and everyone else, have a great day and the rest of your trading week.
Yeah, thanks everybody. We'll see a bunch of you probably in the Trading Studio webinar tomorrow. Stay tuned for that invite. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, everyone.
All right.